Hi everyone and welcome back to the 3C Contact Services YouTube channel. I'm Michela Lombardi. Today we're going to be doing a react video to a bad customer service experience and you're going to get my real-time reaction and feedback.
Enjoy your flight. Hello. Oh, I'm sorry. We're only boarding rows 9 and above right now. You'll have to wait.
I'm in row 8.
Please step aside, sir.
It's just one row. Don't you think it's okay?
We'll call your row momentarily.
Okay, so the customer service agent at the desk is obviously really pleasant and nice and she's just following protocol, but the customer is not asking her to do something really out of the ordinary. He's just asking for a small exception. I think she could have accepted the small exception and just let him go in, especially because he already looks a little bit frustrated. He looks like he already had a little bit of a bad experience at the airport, so I think just having that one little extra mile for the customer makes a big difference, especially if it's not going to get her in trouble or she's not going to have to explain herself to anybody. I think it's just one small exception.
Step aside, sir.
Okay, so this is pretty funny because there's absolutely nobody there, so she totally could make an exception for this airline passenger, and her just using the word step aside, sir, she's not giving any action or proaction to his issue. She's kind of just following protocol or the rules and just using that robotic script. But I think if she could have said to him, like, this is our policy, this is our protocol, I know there's nobody sitting here and there's no, flyers or customers, so I wish I could make the exception for you, but I can't because X, Y, and Z, he probably would have appreciated that a little bit more. So I think he's getting even more irritated now, and she just keeps saying, step aside, sir, which sounds pretty irritating.
Thank you for waiting. We'd like to continue boarding the aircraft now. We're now boarding all rows, please. All remaining rows. Hello.
Okay, so this is pretty bad because not only did she not make an exception for the customer, but she's kind of taunting him and being a little bit passive aggressive with him. So that's not always going to be a good outcome for the customer. They're not going to have a good experience. They're going to feel like this agent didn't go above and beyond. I'm the only person here. They could have just made an exception. Clearly there's no one else on the flight. How come I couldn't just board? And it's an irritation. Now I know he's still going to board his flight and it's probably going to be fine, but still that irritation leaves a really bad taste in the customer's mouth. So I always tell my agents, although we have really strict rules and guidelines, double check with your manager. If you feel like you can make a judgment call and just let something slide, like maybe there's a small detail that you can oversee, or you can let the customer know something that they can do that could help their case instead of harm them, that's always going above and beyond, that's more memorable. The customer will more likely come back and use the product or service that you're providing if you're going to go the extra mile for them and really show them that you're here to help them and you're not just going to follow that rigid protocol that you have to, especially if it's something really small. Now if it's something really big, definitely you have to have your agents check with managers or get approval, especially if it's a protocol that's for something that's a big situation or a big issue or a big process. But that being said, this is small. She could have totally let it slide, and then the customer would have flown the airline again, written a good review. So I think this is a really negative experience.
Enjoy your flight.
Also, her demeanor is just a little bit rigid and she's not really warm, although she's smiling and she's saying all the right things. I think that passive-aggressive tone is really hard, especially over the phone. Customers don't want to hear passive aggressive, they want to hear empathetic. So that fine line between those two tones over the phone, you have to make sure you're training your agents to be empathetic. So not using okay, or anything sarcastic is really important, because nobody over the phone is going to want to hear that, especially if they're wanting to get their money back or need help with a good or service that they actually paid for. You want to make sure you're using empathetic words like, okay, sir, I completely understand you. Yes, I agree with you. Like phrases instead of noises like, okay, things like that. We also always say here is, don't ever say no to a customer. We can always help a customer. We don't have to say no. So instead of saying no, you can say, I completely understand and I really want this to work for you, or I really want to make this happen for you. Why don't we do this? Or why don't I check out how I can help you best? So getting around that no, customers don't like to hear the word no all the time. So getting around that word can really calm down a situation and de-arm the customer. So this was obviously a really funny clip, but there's experiences like this that happen every day in customer service, and that's why I think a lot of brands are losing customers at a rapid pace, is because they're not training their agents to be friendly with the customers and there to support the customers. At 3C, we really believe in making your customers love you. That's our main goal. This customer did not love this agent at all, and I think it's really important for brand loyalty and customer retention to get your customers to love you through their customer experience. If you have any funny customer service stories or you experience something similar to this, give us a like and comment below. Thanks for watching.